Hello everyone, welcome back. It is day 6 of our 12 days of Christmas. So I've been trying to bring to you every day a stamp set or bundle that's retiring, and then an idea of something that's a good gift to give to a stamper. If you have a stamper that you want to give a gift to, you can reach out to me at my email and I can get you a gift card. If you are a stamper and you want me to if you want to send me a wish list and have me send it to someone, or give them a wish list and they can contact me, again, you can reach me through my email. So today, it's kind of a broad category, but this is some beautiful paper. So I wanted to talk a little bit about designer series paper. Stampin' Up! Does an absolutely fabulous job with designer series paper. Their paper is so gorgeous. And there are a couple of things that I really love about their paper. So this is the poinsettia. Let me tell you what the name of it as. Boughs of Holly designer series paper. So you can see that on, some of these, it's definitely holly themed. Oh, that is that one. Good. That's probably my favorite, so I've used it. And there's usually one side that goes with the theme of the paper. But what they're very good about is on the other side will be more neutral papers. I feel like I'm missing one. Yep. So you don't have to use it only for Christmas. I mean, it's just beautiful reds and greens, and then this is just like a wood texture, like bark. So these are perfect any time of year. So even if you buy this for Christmas to use on a beautiful holly Christmas card, then the other side you can use the rest of the year. So fabulous, fabulous. Actually, there's 3 things I love. I don't know that this one is one of these, but let me just double check. I don't know that it is. They often make, and if I use another paper that is, I'll show you in this series. But they will make designer series paper where if there's a die set, it will cut out one of the patterns of the paper. When we use the candy cane, I'm using the candy cane paper in another project. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. But that's something else that's fabulous. The other thing that is fabulous, other than them just being absolutely beautiful, every designer series paper will tell you what colors are used in the paper. So that makes it very easy to add whatever colors you want. You know it's going to match the paper if you use what's on the back there. So that is another great thing, another feature. All right. We are also using today what is called, I don't know if they call it a specialty, often they call it, specialty designer series paper. This is Festive Foils, also going away. Yeah, you can kind of see that shimmer. So these are not, usually the specialty ones are not double-sided. Sometimes they are. No, I won't say that. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. This one is not. So you've got, let's check our colors. It is Cherry Cobbler, Gold, and Soft Succulent. But these have that beautiful shimmer to them. Isn't that not beautiful? So I'm using the gold. Now this card I made is, let me show you in the catalog. I really should have these pages ready. I kind of copied this from the catalog. Not exactly, I didn't do everything exactly the same, but very similar. They use the distressed gold paper. That has not been available for a while, and I don't know if it's available now, so I didn't want to use that. So I thought, well, I'll use this other specialty paper that I hadn't used before. So this is what we're going to make. Yesterday I showed you, so the gift idea is designer series paper. We have tons. If you don't want Christmas, there's tons in the annual catalog, and they're all have the same features: double-sided, more patterned, or theme oriented on one side, and then more neutral pattern on the other side. So Stampin' Up does a fabulous job. So we'll get started making this. One of the things I showed you yesterday was the Stampin' Pierce mat. And because this is a photopolymer stamp set, we're going to definitely use this today. So let's get our stamping done, then we have some die cutting, and then we can put it all together. So let's do our leaf. I have found it is easier to stamp the outline of this first. So this is Evening Evergreen. I always have to try and watch and make sure I stay in the shot for you. So this is kind of the outline, what you would normally do as the darker color. See how beautifully that comes out with that pad underneath? And while we have the Evening Evergreen out, let's do our sentiment. And I did Season's Greetings. There we go. We'll cut that out. Now we are done with the Evening Evergreen. Get our soft succulent. And these are two of the in colors from last year that will be going away at the end of May, and I'm so sad. This soft succulent especially is one of my favorites. So this is the more solid, and this is always a challenge when I'm on camera and I can't get right over the image. And if you don't line it up exactly, it's okay. So see how that just adds another layer to that, gives it some depth. All right, our leaf is done. Now we just need to stamp our berry, our holly berries. I'm closing up these ink pads so I don't get them all over me any more than I already have. This is Cherry Cobbler. Again, I'm doing the outside first. So just stamp that right there. Looks kind of funny like that, but it'll be fine once we get the other piece stamped. And then Poppy Parade. And this will be the inside of our berries. Again, try and line them up. This one, you can line up those dark spots in the middle of the holes of the berry. Not bad. Aren't those gorgeous? Oh my goodness, look how beautiful those are. All right, that is all our stamping. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'll move you up a little bit because when I bring the die cut machine in, you're like right on top of it. Okay. So my friend Sandra gave me this little rubber thing there, and it is fabulous for die cutting for this machine. Keeps it from moving. All right, let's see if we can do, I'm going to leave the red to the end. Red sometimes takes a little bit longer. I didn't really show you this stamp set and dies very well, did I? There's the Leaves of Holly stamps. It's got some great sentiments in it. And then the dies, you can make, I have some cut out already. I don't have any. So you can make intricate dies. So I had some extra ones. So see, that could lay over. If you wanted to just stamp the background, then you could lay that over it. Or you can cut out, what we're going to use is just the open stamp, or the open die to cut out the whole thing. You could cut that out of one color and then layer these over it. But we're just use the solid one, and then let's do our sentiment at the same time. We'll try and do this without either of them moving once we get them set. So carefully lay your pleat over. And then I like to just kind of hold it until it gets started through. All right, I'm putting my dies back so they don't get lost. Look at that beautiful leaf. So now we have a leaf and a sentiment put with our stash of things. Now let's do our berries. And like I've told you before, I turn my plates over after every cut just to try and keep them from warping. They don't last forever. I mean, you just replace them, and I think they're like $10 or $11, so it's not a bad cost. And then I leave the same one on top. You can see it's not nearly as cut up because I just leave that on top. If I'm cutting foil, that helps the foil not get quite so marked up. All right, now let's get our holly berries. And those through. And we could have used the smaller die cut machine, but sometimes I like to use the bigger one because I can do multiple dies at the same time. Like we probably could have done all three of these. If I hadn't just stamped the red, I probably would have done that. All right, let's get this out of our way. Bring our paper back. All right, now we're ready to assemble. So before I started the video, I did die cut some other pieces. So this is what I die cut out of that gold Specialty Designer Series paper. It's really pretty. So there is a die that cuts this out as one piece, and then there's this die, which looks really funny by itself, but it layers underneath of these leaves. Which you don't have to. You could leave them, you know, open if you wanted, but I wanted... And I actually used Designer Series paper there too. You could use just a solid, but I liked a little bit of that modeling showing through. And then these are the other two pieces I used of the Designer Series paper. And I die cut, there are some little greenery pieces in that die set, so I die cut those. So we'll add those. A little piece of the natural ribbon that's in that suite. And our card base, which is what I was looking for. So let's start building. This, often I will cut Designer Series paper to 4 by 5 1/4 because then you can get 3 columns of it. You can get 6 card fronts out of one piece of Designer Series paper. But in the catalog, they had it covering the whole thing, and I really liked that. So this one I did cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it will cover the entire card front. Again, I'm using thick basic white, and if I have something that's the exact same size, for me, I find it's easier to just line it up like that. Whoops, so I didn't do that one very well, did I? That's not bad. That's just easier than trying to, for me, line it up. Now we'll put this strip. So our ribbon is just going on top of a piece, so we don't have to wrap it around anything. So we don't have to worry about remembering to do it first, which often I will forget. Okay. I need my sample so I can remember how I did this. Let's do I'm grabbing something so I can find the right drawer. So here's a bonus gift idea. This is our silicone craft sheet, and glue doesn't stick to it. So if you're doing something like this where you might make a mess with glue, it's great to have this underneath of it. So right now I'm just putting glue. There it goes. I'm always afraid to squeeze too much because I don't want a just big blob right around the outside, because all I'm trying to do right now is glue that background piece to this. So just around the outside. Whoops. And then pick it up, maybe. And this is harder to see because it's on a dark background. There we go. right. Got that. Let's move that out of the way. Now, I want to tuck some things kind of in behind. So what I did is I just kind of laid it on here about where I thought I wanted it, and then took my little branches. Again, I have glue all over my fingers. I've been crafting a lot today. So you may notice I have this, you may see the same color sleeves. I'm trying to film a bunch of these at the same time while I have time. So I want this to just kind of poke out here. I wanted it to come out on the red so you could see it better. And then the same thing with this. And I'm just putting it on the end. When I have things like this, I like them to kind of be loose on the outside. And that just gives it a little more texture. So I want this one to come out, I don't know, something like that. And then our big holly leaf. We'll put about there. This one doesn't really need to be able to lift up on the end because it's pretty solid. About there. And then let's put this on now. Now we've got those pieces there. Yeah. I was trying to remember. I don't think I put this on with dimensionals, and I did not. There we go. And now, I think we're done with the green glue for the moment. For the ribbon, I just took my Stampin' Seal and just ran just ran it down there. And then I want it to go down a little bit. And I want it to go out over onto the green. There we go. Now we will use some dimensionals. And I ended up using the mini dimensionals on this. Let me make sure which way. So I put mini dimensionals at the top of my sentiment. You can tell I still have glue on my fingers. Let's do one in the middle too, because the bottom is going to be on top of that ribbon. So I wanted the top. I wanted them at the top so they would. So that will just go right there. And then I did the same thing with the berries. You could put one regular size in the middle, but I wanted to be sure all the different berries were supported. So that's why I decided to use the mini dimensionals. And just put 3 of them on there. And this will cover up kind of where everything's coming together. And there we go. There's our card. Isn't that fun? Lots of shimmer. You could add, oh, you know what would be really fun? We have, I wonder if I can, no, I think it's, sorry, I'm thinking out loud. An idea just came to me, but I don't know where mine is. We have a glue that has a really narrow applicator. You don't know where mine is, and I can't think of the name of it. That you could put on here on the berries and then let it dry, and then they would just dry clear and shiny. So I might have to go and do that later once I find my glue. But there you go. There's our card for today and all this beautiful designer series paper. All right, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow for day 7.